Now let us solve this few more example questions which are given at the end of this chapter, right? Let us see equation 1. Equation 1 representing what is it, Nana? Sodium hydroxide reacts with sulfuric acid, gives rise to sodium sulfate and water. So for this, let's balance. Okay, I have two sodium atoms right hand side, I have only one left hand side, so I'll write 2 here, 2 in which sodium atoms are balanced. And now let me take right, let's count oxygens. 2 oxygens plus 4, 6 oxygens, 4 oxygens plus 1, only 5, so I'll make it 2, right? Then 2 oxygens plus 4, 6 oxygens, right? And now let's do it hydrogens. 2 hydrogens plus 2, 4 hydrogens, 2 2s are 4 hydrogens, 1 sulfur, 1 sulfur. First equation is balanced. Now let's see the second one. KClO3 gives rise to KCl plus O2. Now you see, I'll tell you a small trick here. KClO3, you can see this KClO3, 1 potassium left hand side, 1 potassium right hand side, 1 chlorine left hand side, 1 chlorine right hand side, 3 oxygens left hand side, but 2 oxygens right hand side. You know, 3 atoms is an odd number, 2 atoms is an even number. Okay, so we get here one side odd, one side even. Okay, if any atom one side odd or even, other side even or odd. Okay, if we get a combination like this, we always check for a pure element. We check for a pure element. The pure element is involving in the equation. You see here, what is oxygen atoms? 3 atoms left hand side, 2 atoms right hand side, and the same way pure oxygen is present once at least. Okay, it is here. Now what I do, I just double the number of molecules of all the reactants and products. Okay, let's see how. 1 molecule become 2 molecule, 1 molecule become 2 molecule here, and then 2 3s are 6 oxygens. If I write 3 here, 3 2s are 6 oxygens. That's it. Second one is balanced. Now third one, coming to third one, let's see. Let's balance 1 mercury atom, right? And what I do, you see here, this is HgNO3 taken twice. It's mercuric nitrate, Hg ion, Hg plus 2, NO3 minus 1. We have 2 nitrate ions. It seems only 1 nitrate ion. What I do, I make it 2 NO3, then 2 NO3 balanced. Now 2 potassiums, I'll write 2 Ki, 2 iodines, 1 mercury. This is also balanced. Now let's see other example. Fourth one, it's glucose, C6H12O6. Glucose produces ethanol and carbon dioxide. Ethanol, or it's called ethyl alcohol. Ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. Let's balance how. We have 12 hydrogens here. We have 12 hydrogens left hand side, 5 plus 1, 6 hydrogens right hand side, so I make it 2 times. Okay, so that hydrogens are balanced, 12 hydrogens, then 2 5s are 10, 2 1s are 2, 12 hydrogens balanced. Now we have 6 carbons here, we have 2 to the 4 carbons. I'll write 2 more carbons here, 2 carbons plus 4, 6 carbons balanced. Now it's time for checking oxygen atoms. 6 oxygen atoms, and I see 2 oxygen atoms here, 2 to the 4, 6 are here. So this is also get balanced, this is balanced, this is, and these first 4 are balanced. Now coming to this fifth one. Okay, if you do it your own, it will be very tricky one. Let's see. NH3 plus Cl2 gives rise to N2 plus NH4Cl. Okay, since nitrogen 1 2 3, since it is present 3 times, you know, it is balance is a bit tricky. Okay, if you try to balance, you please pause this video and try balance it for some time. If you don't get right, if you get it, you know, appreciate it. If you're not, you can continue watching this video, right? Let me balance for this. If I take let's see, we have 2 here and 1. I just do, what I do is I take 8 NH3, 8 molecules of NH3, then 8 nitrogens. We have 2 nitrogens, I'll write 6 nitrogens here. Okay, so that 6 nitrogens, then it becomes 6 nitrogens plus 2, 8 nitrogens equal 6 4s are 24, 8 3s are 24, hydrogen atoms balanced. Now chlorines are 6 chlorines, we have only 2 chlorines here. I make 3 molecules, 3 2s are 6 chlorine. Chlorine atoms are also balanced, right? Now coming to the last one, right? One sodium, two hydrogens, 2 plus 1, 3 hydrogens, 1 oxygen, 1 oxygen. You see here, same that odd and even rule. We have one oxygen atom, we have two hydrogen atoms left hand side, but here 1 and here 2. 3 oxygen atoms here, 3, and there are 2 and 3. Even number, odd number. And we also check for a pure element. Pure hydrogen is present here. In that case, we can go to the rule. What is the rule? We double all the reactants and products except the pure form. So I make one atom into two atoms. It's 2 molecules. It is also 2 molecules. And now check. We don't double the number of pure element, molecules of pure element. Now we just check. 2 2s are 4, 2 hydrogens, 4 hydrogens, 2 sodium, right? And 2 oxygens, 2 oxygens. Right? Balanced. This is how we balance the equations by using, here I used which method, Nana? I used hit and trial method for balancing these chemical equations. Okay. Now let us write some word equations. Here we are given some word equations to write a balanced chemical equation, right? First, what is the process? We have to convert this word equation into skeleton equation, and that skeleton equation then balanced into balanced chemical equation. Let us write first one. Calcium hydroxide plus nitric acid gives rise to water plus calcium nitrate. We have to write the correct formula of these chemical substances, all the reactants and products. First reactant is calcium hydroxide. And in calcium hydroxide, how do we write the formula of calcium hydroxide? For this, we must have knowledge of ions. Calcium hydroxide. It is a combination of calcium ion and a hydroxide ion. Calcium ion, Ca plus 2, hydroxide ion, HOH minus 1. Calcium ion is a simple ion, hydroxide ion is a complex, like compound ion, so I have written in the bracket. Now, for writing chemical equation, we learnt in 9th class, plus minus cancelled and crisscross the valencies so that 1 comes to calcium, it becomes Ca, and 2 goes to OH, and we write OH taken twice. This is calcium hydroxide plus nitric acid. Nitric acid, how do we write nitric acid? H plus 1, nitrate ion, NO3 minus 1. Simply, we cancel plus 1 minus 1 and we write the formula HNO3, nitric acid, gives rise to water. Water formula is H2O plus calcium nitrate. Calcium nitrate, Ca, how do we write? Let's practice writing. Ca plus 2, NO3 minus 1, plus minus cancel, crisscross the valencies, 1 comes to calcium and 2 goes to nitrate. Nitrate ion is a compound ion, is written in a bracket and twice. This is a skeleton equation, and we have written the skeleton equation from the word equation, and now we have to balance this, right, in order to write a complete equation, right? How do we balance? I told you already, nitrate ion, this is an ionic equation. It's like these substances are actually ionic mostly involving. You see, calcium nitrate is an ionic compound. 1 calcium ion, 1:2 ratio, 1 calcium ion and 2 nitrate ions. HNO3 contain 2 NO3, 1 NO3 group. If I write 2 here, 2 NO3 groups, we can balance groups directly NO3, right? And then let's see here, let's look at 1 calcium atom, right? 2 nitrate groups, 2 hydrogens, then 2 hydrogens, and let's make it, we have 2 hydrogens to 4 hydrogens here. So if I write 2 here, 2 hydrogens, 2 oxygen, then it is balanced chemical equation. Now let's go to the second one. Okay, and what is it now? It's magnesium. Magnesium is a metal. Whenever metals are involving in a chemical equation, we only write its symbol, magnesium Mg, plus iodine. Iodine exists in diatomic state as I2, then gives rise to magnesium iodide. How do we write magnesium iodide? Magnesium ion Mg plus 2, iodide ion I minus 1, plus minus cancel, crisscross the valencies, magnesium iodide 1 Mg, 2 goes to iodine, and I write I2, Mg I2 is magnesium iodide. And you see, it is itself a balanced equation. 1 magnesium, 2 iodines, Mg I2 is magnesium iodide, is balanced, right? It's done. Then Third one, sodium hydroxide plus hydrochloric acid gives rise to sodium chloride plus water. Okay, this is an example of neutralization. We call it as neutralization reaction because sodium hydroxide is a base, hydrochloric acid is acid, base plus acid gives rise to a salt, sodium chloride and a water. It's a neutralization. For the sodium hydroxide, I'm writing directly the formula of this compound, sodium hydroxide, Na plus 1 OH minus 1. So NaOH, hydrochloric acid, HCl gives rise to sodium chloride, Na plus 1 Cl minus 1. So NaCl plus water formula we know H2O, and this is also a ready balanced equation because you see one sodium atom, one oxygen, right? 1 plus 1, two hydrogens, one chlorine and one chlorine. All the atoms are equal reactant side and product side, and hence it is a balanced chemical equation. And now the fourth question, barium chloride reacts with sodium sulfate gives rise to sodium chloride and barium sulfates. This word equation we convert into balanced chemical equation. For that we write barium chloride. Barium chloride, how do we write barium chloride? Using crisscross method, I'll write barium ion Ba plus 2, chloride ion is Cl minus 1, right? So I cancel out plus minus, crisscross the valencies, so I get a formula of a barium chloride BaCl2. Barium chloride reacts with sodium sulfate. How do we write sodium sulfates? Na plus 1, sulfate ion SO4 minus 2, plus minus cancel, crisscross the valencies, 2 comes to sodium, as a result we get a sodium sulfate. So Na2 sodium sulfate is Na2SO4, sodium sulfate, gives rise to sodium chloride. We have written earlier Na plus 1 Cl minus 1, plus minus plus 1 minus 1 cancel, we get NaCl. Next, barium sulfates. How do we write now barium sulfate? It's Ba plus 2 SO4 minus 2. This minus 2 plus 2 cancel, we write the formula BaSO4, barium sulfate. Now we have to check for balancing. 2 chlorine atoms left hand side, right hand side only 1. So I write 2 here, then 1 barium, right? 2 sodium, Na2SO4, SO4. That's all. The first equation is balanced, right? Barium chloride reacts with the sodium sulfate, gives rise to sodium chloride plus barium sulfate. Now coming to the next one, fifth one, potassium nitrate plus copper sulfate gives rise to copper nitrate plus potassium sulfate. Now let's write potassium nitrate. I'll write the formula KNO3 plus copper sulfate is written CuSO4, gives rise to copper nitrate Cu plus 2 NO3 minus 1. So I'll write CuNO3 taken twice plus potassium sulfate K2SO4. Now we have to balance. You just check. We have 2 potassium atoms. So I make 2 atoms, 2 NO3, 1 copper, 1 sulfate. That's all. This equation is balanced. Now coming to the last one, sodium nitrate plus copper sulfate. Sodium nitrate formula I write NaNO3 because Na plus 1, NO3 minus 1. NaNO3 plus copper sulfate. I'll write CuSO4 because Cu plus 2 SO4 minus 2 plus 2 minus 2 cancel. Resulting CuSO4 molecule gives rise to copper nitrates. Copper nitrate formula is written in the above equation. CuNO3 taken twice plus sodium sulfate Na2SO4, sodium sulfates, right? Sodium sulfate is written in the first in the fourth equation. Now let's check. We have 2 sodium atoms right hand side, only 1 left hand side. I write 2 NaNO3, 2 NO3 groups, 1 copper, 1 sulfate. That's all. This is also balanced. These are the right chapter end questions on balancing chemical equations. I hope you understand and utilize this video, okay, for your better understanding the subject chemistry.